Should be okay. Alright, let's begin.
Mega Prophecy Punisher Purifier Cyraya something pressure tomato. She's the Nightman stuff.
Oh, I've got the live chat still over here too. I don't think I... What the... Oh, I see. Okay, I'm just gonna unclick that. I could have your all's live chat on here, but I'm not gonna bother.
Where were we going?
Skip to like the 8-minute mark? Is that where... Dude, this smart bomb looks so good though. My god, I can't believe how well that worked. Except for the fact that it has no green bar at the top. That's kind of interesting.
Do you grass, Bachman? Do you grass?
Okay. So here's the...
omens are, just the omens are. Hold.
This is the first fight.
Hold on. Point something. They're all aggressed on me. Let's do this.
I fucked up
Point
here.
something.
Okay. So, staging the fight, I'll try and be brief here since we've got another fleet coming up, but staging the fight, there were some of them stuck on the other side of the gate and some of them on this side of the gate. I think there were only 2 or 3 on the other side. So, but they're still committed now because their only hope is to try and get us all to aggro on one side and then jump out to the other and warp out. Short of being able to do that, they're definitely going to lose some shit, and they know it. So what they do here, and I sort of almost fell for it, what they do here is they have 2 inexpensive sort of disposables in the Omen Navy issues. They have them aggress me. So I get the pop-up that says so-and-so is tanking sentries, and typically with a group like this, and I didn't know it was Hydra when we first started, which is kind of funny. It was really irrelevant because we had a big positional advantage on these guys, but they need to convince me to commit to the fight on one side so they can escape to the other. Now, once my entire fleet lands, it's going to get a little bit more interesting because they're bound to get caught either way. So you'll see once the fleet lands, they kind of realize we're fucked, and that's when like the nightmares come in. And I think probably their FC, even though I'm sure their FC is pretty knowledgeable, I think he hesitated here, telling him whether to aggress or whether not to, because the nightmares aggressed and they really shouldn't have. Like, they aggressed, but they didn't focus damage. I should have taken... You'll notice I take damage in the beginning of this, right, when they all start shooting me. Like, it puts me down to 3/4 armor or something. Then the Geddons land, and they realize the Geddons, being newt boats, can newt the guns off of the nightmares, so they can shut the nightmare DPS completely off, so they switch to primarying an Armageddon. Had they kept on me, I probably would have died. But they made a good choice there because the Geddons were going to exert too much pressure. But the big thing to realize here is, as long as it's just me on this gate, they think that they can still get away, so they're trying to bait me into aggressing. And once I shoot, they can jump and I can't follow, and then, you know, they're away. But Bachland is also here, which is why at first I was going to have Bachland point one of them on this side, but then I realized, okay, so let's hypothetically Bachland points one of them, and they all jump, and I jump with them. Well, I'm going to have a hard time tackling stuff because I have, it takes me a longer time to lock a target, and I only have a short point, and I'm double plated, so I'm very slow. So unless I decloak within 10k one of these guys, if it's just me trying to tackle him, I probably won't catch anything. I'd be lucky to catch one. So that's why I was saving Bachland, and that's why I bit the bullet on this and aggressed, because I needed Bachland to be ready to follow him through since he has much higher tackle potential. And assuming I aggress, what I thought was going to happen was I was going to aggress one of these guys, and they were all going to jump. And they were all going to jump, and then I would send Bachland through and tackle one of them, and I'd send the rest of the fleet through to follow up and hopefully grab secondary on whatever before Bachland died. So I really expected to kind of be stuck alone on this side of the gate for this part. So you'll notice again, the important part to watch for in the beginning is they aggress me to trick me into trying aggressing them and letting them get away before the fleet lands, which I don't think my fleet's even in local yet, but they might be. I think they're in.
Actually, I'll point one of them in Camela. Everyone else hold a bunch of yellow boxes.
Bachland's on the other side.
They're aggressed on me.
Okay, so the fleet's just now landing, and they realize their time's limited. So the Omens just aggressed me, and you can see I said they're all aggressed on me because I saw these yellow boxes popping up, and I started seeing the pop-ups. So they weren't all aggressed, it was just the Omens. And then let's see, a Nightmare should aggress me here in a minute.
They're all aggressed on me. Let's do this.
And that was
No,
again.
just the omens are. Just the omens are. Hold, hold, hold.
There, a nightmare aggressed me, right? Wait. Danny is yellow boxing me. These are the only two shooting at me though, but the Loki has me yellow boxed. It's hard to tell with this background. Okay, this nightmare just red boxed me. Arbiter just started shooting me, but all three are yellow boxing me now. So
Nightmare of ARB. Nightmare of ARB is primary nightmare.
So now they realize they're committed and they're gonna go for it, which without any logic, I don't understand.
Nightmare of ARB is primary. Let's go, let's go. Capri to me, you ready?
Yep.
Oh, and also, look at the damage I'm taking. I'm taking essentially no damage. I don't have him watch listed. Phenomenally, the one other person who I found out after the fact, he gets down to like 30% structure before the Archons land reps, and they actually saved him. I never realized anybody was in that much trouble. So anyways, we're going to aggress this guy. I didn't realize, honestly, that they didn't have Logi. I thought the people that jumped through were going to have been, some scimitars or something like that, but they don't have Logi. They might have a spider. They might even, it might even be a Logi Tengu. I don't know. That would actually be pretty cool, but we'll keep going. So we start applying pressure.
ARB, I'll let you know.
We start applying pressure here, and my immediate assumption is that they're going to jump and run. They're going to realize we have more than them. They're going to de-aggro and jump and run. So I'm trying to make this decision like, okay, do I try and nuke this nightmare, or do I have people de-aggro and jump through? And I decided to just go for it, and that way we can at least get a kill or two out of it. And they stayed a lot longer than I expected. Bachlin's still on the other side, and he catches the Mac and the Nightmare that jump through, so it set us up really well. And I could just as easily have been really wrong telling everybody to go for it, because they could have de-aggroed right this second and gotten pretty much everything else out. But it worked out. So he goes down. Like, active XLASP tank.
What nightmares are aggressed?
Yeah, we have a lot of damage. A lot of damage. And it's going to apply really well to the thermal kinetic, probably.
The nightmare is breaking so fast.
Okay, come in, Capri, come in.
So you can see we're just falling.
DAN is next. DAN is
But
next.
here's one thing. The other Armageddon is getting hit really hard, but I'm still getting shot by... well, none of them are shooting me now. I don't know what I'm taking damage
You guys hear me?
Nightmare. Let me mute this.
Microphone sound muted.
The Nightmare over here is still shooting me. I don't see anybody else, but they're splitting damage for sure, because if they were all shooting me, I'd be going down much quicker. Or if they were all shooting him, he'd be going down much quicker. So their split damage here was really, really rookie mistake from them. Like, they know much better. Alright.
It's up. Spread points, DAN is next. Diagrass, Bachman, Diagrass.
Yeah, I really think these are Logi Tengus. Looking at this comp, it doesn't make sense without Logi Tengus. But I don't know. I haven't looked at the mail. We didn't kill any of the Tengus, so I don't know. But there's no way that these guys are without reps. I just don't think they were on the ball in the beginning, because I think something catches reps here in a bit and lasts longer than it really should
Ready to
have.
get through?
Which is pretty cool.
I have the
Broadcast rep.
Okay.
Broadcast reps.
So first Archon comes in.
DAN is your primary, guys. DAN.
So here's Capri and his Archon. I don't know, honestly, unless he says it, I don't know when he flashed Triage. I imagine he wouldn't have started Triage just yet, but he might have Triage right as he came in, because he'll have known that somebody was hurting more than me. But this part's pretty unexciting. We're going to kill a lot of them. A lot of them are going to realize we're fucked, and they'll de-aggro and they'll jump. And Bachlin's on the other side, so I'll send the entire fleet through to finish off the last two that we catch. And as they're killing, they kill the Macarial right as this other fleet lands, which I wasn't even descanning for. I was totally unprepared for that fleet to land. So we'll play it up to that point.
DAN is your primary. If you're in a cruiser, Diagrass, you're going to follow him through. If you're in a cruiser, Diagrass, you're going to follow him through.
So at this point, I think they're de-aggroed, because the Archon's on field.
Oh, shit.
I don't see reps coming off of Capri just yet.
DAN primary, guys. DAN. Kill them before they
I'm
de-aggro.
not zoomed in enough to see. Okay, reps are definitely coming off the Archon now.
Then Jasmine and the Mac. Then Jasmine and the Mac. Is anybody still being aggressed or no?
So they know that they're not going to break anything at this point. So
Okay, that's fine. Cruisers are going to follow them through. Get on JAS, guys. Get on JAS and the Mac.
some of them warp off, obviously.
And not even going to
Get
worry
a sign
about
on the other side. We can drop the other side as well.
Gotcha. I'm just worried about tackling him. Keep on the Mac. If the Mac jumps, I'm gonna have whoever's
So-
not aggressive.
What Capri just said is if we have a second Sino, we can drop them on the other side, which I thought we did have a second Sino, but as it turns out, we didn't, I don't think. The Absolution was our Sino, and he was not there because his computer overheated, I guess. Fuck if I know. But I didn't know until midway through the fight I was the only Sino, and we had no links, which is kind of bad. But
Follow him. Keep on the Mac. Go, 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 go.
so I think we kill. No, we don't kill this Mac. I think he jumps. But yeah, look at the reps coming onto this Mac. Those are definitely Logi
If we get
Tengus.
him, we'll go for DEW in the Nightmare. Our damage is
Broadcasting
dropping off.
reps.
They jump.
Mac jumps.
Okay, go, go, go.
I think that's the Mac that we killed, right? Everything else pretty much warps off.
Everyone
Tengus
drones in
and
at
one-
Diagro. Drones in at Diagro. Guys who are on the other side, call point.
Yeah, so everything else warps off, which I don't know why we didn't have any of that stuff tackled.
Guys,
but-
as soon as you can get through the gate, you need to get through the gate.
Point on Mac.
Okay, hold him, hold him, hold
Okay,
him.
so-
Do you have backup
I'll
on
get
that side?
Bachland is on the other side in a Crow. He just tackled the Mercurial, and there's a Nightmare there. And everybody has this aggression timer up here that we gotta wait out, and then they'll go through. You can't really see it, but I've still got a Sino active, so I can't even move, much less, which I obviously forgot about when I was trying to approach people, but but they're gonna wait out their timer. They're gonna get through. They're gonna primary the Mac, which I'll call. The Mac will go down, and right as the Mac goes down, I think this other fleet lands. And when you see the fleet comp of the other gang, it's almost, I mean, there's very little chance that they didn't fit exclusively to kill this Archon. They could have seen we were all blaster boats, all hybrids, and gone for us, but or they just really like Geddons. I know a lot of the people in the Bleak Lands use Geddons for fucking everything. So anyways, we'll play up to that point.
Can you get the other one?
I'm gonna get the nightmare. I'm gonna get the nightmare.
Okay.
Okay.
So they've got him pointed. I'm gonna wait.
Nightmare.
Here's it on the map.
So they just jumped through?
Completely muted.
Okay, everyone's in. Everyone's in. Call point on Nightmare. Call point on Mac, please.
Some iffy moments with the tackle.
I have Mac.
You can see I keep trying to
Circle
approach
Nightmare.
stuff.
Secondary nightmare.
Nice. Good job, guys. Kill the Mac first. Kill the Mac
Smart
first.
bomb confused the hell out of you. Yeah, you can even see the little white line that's the timer for the Sino.
Tell me when the Mac's down, please.
So I was descanning, and here they come. Here's all these. You see these Geddons over here? Well, they're not ours because ours just jumped through. I don't know if I scroll down far enough for you guys to see it, but I know there was at least 4 Armageddons on scan. So I should have realized they were coming, and I just derped and was more worried about the kill mails on the other side. So the Mac is about to go down. These guys are about to land. Let's pull up until you can see their fleet comp.
Geddon's full fleet landing on this side.
Fleet coming in on our side.
Yep, fleet's in on this side.
Nis, are you ready?
So
Geddon's,
this is a
Battleship.
really
Yep.
shady moment for
Nightmare,
Capri and the
Kill the
Got
Nightmare,
secondary
guys.
in the Archon. So here's an interesting call that I don't know. It doesn't really haunt me because it worked out, but it's really not a great idea what I'm about to do in this fight. So they're on the other side. They have a fresh aggro timer from killing the Mercurial, so they've got 60 seconds where they can't come back through. So essentially it's me and a Navy Megatron and an Archon sitting here with all this stuff. Me and Capri are the only ones in here. We don't even have links at this point, which we never did, but I didn't realize that. I don't know who this is down here, actually. There's another battleship right there below the play thing, but I don't know who that is. But at best, they'll be in another battleship. Getting there. I like that I just tried to descan. Jesus Christ. This is the problem with streaming your own screen. It looks really familiar. So this part's really iffy, because let's look at their comp. 1 Armageddon, 2 Armageddons, 3 Armageddons, 4 Armageddons, 5 Armageddons, 6 Armageddons, 7 Armageddons. They literally have 7 fucking Armageddons. If you're full heavy newt fit, that's 49 heavy newts. That's just a fucking stupid amount of newting power. So the only reason you'd really bring this many Geddons is if you're looking to nuke the capacitor off of a capital. So I think they knew the Archon was there. I don't really know the timing now after having paused it all, but I think they knew the Archon was there. by the time that they committed to this. They might not have, and they might just have been gone a full troll setup to newt all of our guns off of us, but I find that unlikely. I've already run well over the time when I said the fleet was going to start, but we're too deep now. I'm just going to keep going. So anyways, they've got 50 heavy newts potentially that they're about to just drain Capri of every bit of cap he's ever had, which means he can't rep himself, much less rep me. So assuming they all get, 3 or 4 cycles on him, he's going to be completely capped out, and then they'll, go through me like that. Their damage is going to be a little bit low in a setup like this, but their tank is going to be fairly solid. Well, only 3 Guardians, but 3 Guardians and guaranteed to have links because they live here. At least I think they do. Long story short, at this point, it looks like our protagonists are about to die a really painful death. But I had forgotten that, I hadn't really forgotten, but I didn't plan to make use of a second Archon. But Capri did. And so my Sino is still up, which is really nice. And so he's going to call in a second Archon. Right now he's combat fit. I'll have to ask him what setup he had, but presumably here he's got the hardeners and the whole bit. The Archon's going to come in. It's going to allow him to refit for capacitor to try and combat these newts a little bit, and he'll be able to get reps from the other carrier, assuming he's not in triage. And again, I don't know what their triage looks like. Capri is bound to have had fraps for this. We'll make a video out of this, I'm sure. Long story short, second Archon's coming in. Capri's going to be completely fucked because of these Geddons until the Archon shows up, and the Archon will apply some reps if he's out of triage, and more importantly, will allow him to refit to be prepared to start tanking these guys. Capacitor tanking and damage tanking. So I'm going to start taking damage once they're fairly comfortable that he's capped out, but this second Archon is really going to throw him for a loop.
Give it a Diagro. I'm about to get aggressed on this side. I need backup now. They're new.
Was 2 A&M, 2 Repper, 2 Relay fit. Okay, yeah, so you were tank fit from the beginning then. Fairly tank fit anyways. And when I say tank fit, for anybody who doesn't know, I mean he has hardeners in his lows. If he's cap fit, he has all cap power relays and potentially dual rep in his lows. But you had fraps running, right, Capri? Please, dear God, tell me you had fraps. I want to see this. So anyways, I'm gonna
Shooting at our
make some progress.
Alright.
Oh, I was gonna say all the while the fleet's on the other side, and how I started this was by saying this call kind of haunts me because they just killed the Mac, and I could tell him like, oh, Diagro, get back through and help us, because Capri's in trouble, and I'm sure I'm gonna be in trouble. Him, obviously a bigger priority than me, but I told him to stay and kill the Nightmare, because realistically, if they just stay and nuke that Nightmare with no reps, it'll take them an extra 20 to 30 seconds. And that could have decided the fight for us, but I felt like we were going to be able to have enough time where it's better for them to just go ahead and secure that kill and not risk them, half of them shooting them, half of them not. Here, the worst possible thing that we could do as a gang would be for half of us to do one thing and half of us to do the other. It would have been better whether I told them to stay or whether I told them to immediately come back through. Either one would have been better as long as everybody did it. As long as everybody did it, we were fine. So that's why I told them, for them, the Nightmare is going to be the more tempting option anyway, so I just told them, go ahead and nuke the Nightmare. Gets us some ISK. Means he's not going to re-enter the fight, which he's not with this group anyway, so it wouldn't have been a big deal, but it reduces the risk of people getting split over the gate if there's nothing left over there for them to shoot. So they're going to kill that. That's going to add time onto their Diagro timer, and then they're going to come back through and join. And as long as Capri can survive that amount of time, we'll then have the DPS to start breaking these Geddons. So here we go.
Guys, I need everybody in Camela.
Second,
Nis, go ahead and jump if you can. Nis,
second Archon's coming in. Capri's
Let's see what
capped
we can
out,
do here.
and
Nice.
they're putting damage on
Are
me.
you still in triage?
Yeah.
Okay, so Capri triaged as soon as he came in, which makes sense.
CO's gonna
Explains
need
how he
reps.
was able to save that.
Guys, tell me when you're jumping in, please.
again.
Tell me when you're
Go
jumping
for
in.
triage, Nis. Go for triage.
Okay, so second Archon just came in. He's immediately going to triage and start dishing out reps to Capri. Although I still didn't hear if he said he was out of triage yet. If Capri's still in triage, he's going to be out of it really soon, which will help. I'm gonna start taking damage. I'm gonna ask for reps for obvious reasons. I'm their Sino in, which we only had 2, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But yeah, I'm absorbing a lot of their damage. Really, at this point, the only thing that Capri is eating is their cap pressure. So he should be fine for tank, which is why he refits to a capacitor fit to allow him to rep even with all the Geddons on him. Although with all those Geddons on you, you're still not going to rep unless you're factioned. Anyways, let's go.
You do rep.
Are you in range?
So about now, I'm
I don't know,
pretty sure...
check.
God, sorry, I keep pausing this, but about now I'm pretty sure I'm fucked. Because my entire fleet is still, like, right this second, they're still shooting that Nightmare on the other side of the gate. Which means it's 1 man and 2 Archons versus all of this Newt pressure. So it's really, really dicey at this point, and it's purely up to, like, these 2 Archons coordinating their fits and their triage for the next 60 seconds until I can get them help. And they did that, obviously, really well, so it ends up working out. But this could very easily, very, very easily, I would have died, and then with this many newts, if the fleet didn't get back through and start applying pressure with this many newts, they could have killed the Archons as well.
You should be.
I'm refitting.
Reps on CO, please. Reps on CO. Reps on CO.
Full cap fit I can keep.
Okay, guys, get through. CO's are gonna
So
go
wait,
down.
okay, so when he triaged, you dropped local rep and went full cap power relay in the low then? Took the reppers off and everything? Geddon, 220 cap per second, neuting per Geddon, dual box carriers. Okay, that's what I was wondering, where do you put those? Alright. Well, he wasn't dual boxing. No. These are 2 people, which is good.
Get through. Tell me your timers, guys. Tell me your timers.
So I'm obviously hurting
Jump.
right now, but I'm going to rely on him refitting to capacitor
For now.
and the triage
Holding okay
from
for
our
right now,
second
looks like.
Archon.
Guys, get in.
So now their newts are
Get on
split
the
in half.
Armageddon
I'm
of
refitting range. I'm good.
WAZ. Everything on WAZ.
I'm going to try and keep the clip rolling here. So people are going to be getting in here any minute from the other side, my guys.
If you're in an auger, you need to pair up with our Geddons.
There they are.
Moving out their Geddons.
So here comes the cavalry. Everybody's back through from killing the Nightmare.
Reps on CO, I'm bleeding structure. Everything
Capri
on
is
WAZ,
refit
everything on
to a
WAZ.
full capacitor fit, so now he can start repping, and you can see
Cheers, thank you.
that that's really the only thing keeping me from
again,
being
WAZ
completely
again.
fucked. Although, actually, I'm receiving reps from the guy in triage. That's what saved me,
Yep,
because
we're gonna
those
cap
reps
out
are
the guns.
crazy, crazy
Refit
strong.
capacitor again. Refit everything capacitor power cap relay.
Overheat on WAZ. Overheat
So
on
you can hear
WAZ,
Capri
guys.
saying
Get your
refit
optimal
full
overheat on
capacitor
WAZ.
power relay. So they're both going to be able to cap
Secondary's
regen through these
TAK,
Geddons.
secondary's
With
TAK,
one of them,
also
apparently
mean
Capri
red.
says they can still cap regen through this, but with 2 of them
Overheat on WAZ.
and split newts, they're
Overheat,
definitely
overheat,
going to be able
overheat. Get your
to
optimal, guys. Let's go.
regen cap on top of this. So first order of business with the fleet in is to,
Switch to TAK.
with the full fleet in now, the first priority is kill off the Geddons, obviously, take some of the cap pressure off of our capitals, make life easier for them. Even if they could cap regen through it, they then would have to keep switching between a tank fit and a cap fit, and if we just eliminate the cap pressure, it allows them to feel a little bit safer going green on triage. So we're just gonna, and quite frankly, there's nothing else to kill besides the Geddons. So made that call like doubly easy. So we're just gonna start nuking Geddons, and I was a little bit perturbed that the first Geddon tanked, really. I mean, with 3 Guardians, and he was tanking full fleet DPS. So I don't know if that guy just was active hardeners and overheated them, or his kill mail, we ended up killing him, but we can probably find out, but or it was just we weren't at our optimal, people weren't firing, drones weren't out, whatever, and my drones weren't out, but whatever it was, we couldn't break this guy, and I was like, oh god, it's going to be really embarrassing if we can't break this. So we're going to switch. Anytime you can't break the reps of the fleet you're up against, switch targets. See if your DPS will apply faster than their reps, if their Logi's not on the ball. So we switch, and I'm
Okay. Switch to TAK in the Armageddon.
greatly comforted by what happens to this guy.
I'm out of triage, by the way. Put cap and ET and put reps on meters.
Yeah, I'm batting with all 3 now.
Everything on TAK.
Oh, and an important part of our doctrine that I didn't even explain at the beginning, we've got 3 Armageddons, 4 or 5 Megathrons, and 2 Navy Megathrons. I'm in one of the Navy Megas. I'm glad I was, too. but we have four. No, we have three augurs. We have three augurs, but the augurs are. Hold on, let me minimize this real quick. Oh wow, I'm glad you can see that. The augurs were fit thusly as pure battery augurs, so literally they just had 5 cap transfers in the high. And they would put 2 of these on the other augurs. They were running a 1 up, 1 down, just like you would for a 3-2 Logi. And then they had 3 free capacitor transfers to put onto our Armageddons. So not only would Armageddons have cap to cap out primary targets, but in a case like this where both sides have Newt-Geddons, it's the same as Balgorns and like more concentrated higher end fights that your Balgorns will try and cap out their Balgorns, and it's a matter of who has more capacitor fuel at that point. And so for us, we had 3 ships that were purely just pumping out cap. Each Armageddon had its own auger with 3 full cap transfers on them at all times, so we were going to be able to cap out pretty much all their Armageddons if the fight lasted that long. The fight doesn't end up lasting that long. I don't know how effective Armageddons were. I would love to have had a stream from that perspective, but yeah, this was huge. We had no reps coming from the augurs whatsoever. They were all cap. Yeah, but that we had, even though they had more Geddons, we in the medium to long run had better cap security, better cap stability as a fleet. Those 3 augurs were huge for us. Compared to the Archons, the reps would not have been that spectacular from the augurs, so that's why we focused on cap, because they can still make a huge difference on the capacitor.
In the Armageddon, everything on TAK in the Armageddon.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
Alright, so
Lock up FOR.
look at this guy go down like a sack of shit.
Everything on TAK, he's melting, he's melting, he's melting. If we can break 1 or 2, we'll be fine. TAK, guys, go on TAK. Don't let him catch reps. Good, good, good.
So he's down, and he just fucking melted. Like, not even close. So, at first I called, when our fleet first came in, I called for our Geddons to Newt their Geddons. And that was purely to try and take some of the cap pressure off of our capitals. Because at this point, I don't know if they're going to hot drop. I don't know if they're going to warp in DPS. I don't know what they're going to do, but I want our capitals to be as high cap as they possibly can and feel free to fit tank when they need it and not feel like they constantly, like, I don't want them to be at any point in a position where they have to triage, where both of them have to triage, which you never do, but this is all about alleviating stress off the Archons in the beginning, just to make sure we could tank. Now that we just fucking melted that guy, I'm pretty confident that we'll clean up the cap pressure really quick. Our Armageddons have already done a lot of work against their Armageddons, so their neuting power right now is hugely diminished. Even with that, only having killed 1 of them, we've probably capped out 2 or 3 of them. So I'm going to have the Armageddons switch their neuts to the Guardians, now that I'm more comfortable with their neut pressure. Neut out the Guardians, and that'll expedite us killing the Armageddons, so kind of a 2 birds with 1 stone thing.
Lock up
2
FOR,
birds with 1 newt.
FOR on the Guardian. If you have a web, I need it on FOR.
But I really expected capitals to come in. I really expected another Sino to come up here. This is a lot of ships to commit to a fight. But again, they thought we only had 1 triage, so it's kind of interesting. So remember, we couldn't break this guy in a minute ago.
Armageddons, I need you to switch all cap pressure to Guardians now. Switch all cap pressure.
So we couldn't break this guy earlier, and then suddenly we can. So it had to have been we just weren't applying our DPS properly. But you just heard the call. I just said, okay, we're breaking these, so let's just expedite the process by neuting out the Guardians. So I just told them to switch, and you'll see the next couple will not get any reps whatsoever, because the Geddons will neut out the Guardians just like that.
Guardians now. WAZ is your primary.
Yeah, carries are holding fine.
WAZ is your primary. Secondary is PRE. Secondary is PRE. Predator Elite.
So you can see his armor is chunking up just a little bit. And right about now, the Guardians are already going to be struggling for cap, assuming our neuts decycled. So I don't expect to see this guy catch any reps. Chunk, 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 chunk. That was seriously probably 8 volleys from our fleet that killed that guy. So everybody's in good range. They're reps are
AEN
fucked.
is next.
I don't know what's
AEN,
killing that
spread
Guardian, by
tackle
the
on
way.
leave, spread
It
tackle,
shouldn't
spread
have
tackle,
been,
spread
but
tackle.
hey, whatever.
I've got AEN.
I said I had AEN, but clearly I
FLR
don't.
secondary, guys.
I meant to
FLR
say
secondary.
that.
Oh, sorry, I have that. I don't have AEN. I have THA. THA is your... Okay, THA is your primary, AEN is your secondary. Let's go. Everything on THA. That mofo.
So you can already see him aligning out.
Okay.
Yep, there goes one of the Geddons. He just worked out.
AEN and the Armageddon is secondary.
So,
I'm gonna go for
that's pretty much it. And then we clean up and we chill until the caps are out of triage and I'm off my Sino. And once they're safe, mission accomplished. Even if the Archons Sinoed out and we all died, we still would have won on ISK for that whole exchange by a pretty healthy margin.
That's fine. Pressure.
My ship here is only worth...
PR for the long weapons timer.
Okay.
My ship's only worth
Let's
600
put
or
it
700
down.
mil at the most.
Put heat on PER, guys.
Because I've only got
PER.
2
As
faction
soon as it's down, we're gonna
hardeners.
get drones in.
Nothing to that space. So the Archons are really our only liability at this point, and we've made it pretty clear we're going to be able to defend them.
Oh yeah, that smart bomb. Turns out.
The battery augers, I think, were probably... That's my evil chortle after I finally got to use my mod overlays.
I've been waiting so long.
I really have been waiting a long time for those, by the way. I made that probably 2 months ago. Oh, God.
Yeah, if you got sentries, put them on
So that's pretty much it. Like I said, we're going to wait and make sure that Capri and Co. get out in the Archons, and that's pretty much it. But, yeah, of all the things that make this setup work, obviously having 2 fucking triage makes it a little bit easier, but of all the things that really make this setup work, I think, it's the Armageddons with the battery augers. Those are just so fucking amazingly good. And normally I wouldn't really worry about it. I'd run like a 3-2 and just have 1 cap transfer from my augers go to the Geddons, just to help them out a little bit, take a little bit of stress off of it. But in a situation like this where they warped in, they warped in 7 Armageddons, we only had 3. But our 3 were massively more powerful. And like I said, the fight didn't even really last long enough for us to show how effective that setup was, but our 3 Armageddons were better than their 7 Armageddons because we had augers behind them. And even if the Guardians were doing a 3-2 and putting 1 transfer on the Armageddon, we were still going to be able to do more. Because at any given point, we could have 3 full cap transfers on every single Geddon, and the Guardians would have to cycle in between. It'd be chaos. So that was really good. And for anybody who was wondering at the beginning why I was stressing out about the augers and saying we gotta have augers, that's why. Yeah, hopefully people believe me when I ask for strange things. That Thai massage place sure didn't seem to understand. I want drones in. Unless you're dropping sentries.
Did we get loot from the other side?
Sure you do. You want to leave them? Really, really surprised they didn't.
They're the ones that fucking
Alright.
dropped us before.
Well, that's pretty much it. That is the very long story about the very short fight.